Welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. Today's episode is all about spring and Easter DIYs, and I have some really good ones for you today. I'm going to be making a beautiful carrot out of some drop cloth, some paint, and some rubber stamps. Oh my gosh, you guys, these turn out so darling, you're going to run to make them. I'm also going to show you how you can make a cute and beautiful springtime or Easter vignette using some items that you have. These are just some items that I've either made, picked up at thrift stores, or had some vintage items. And it wouldn't be an Easter video without a darling little Easter bunny silhouette. I think you guys are going to love how this one turns out. So come and join me as I make these all new spring and Easter DIYs. If you do like anything you see in today's video, remember to hit that thumbs up, and I would love if you would consider subscribing. But let's go make some DIYs. This darling sign came from Dollar Tree, and I just love this bunny. Like, I absolutely love his shape. So much so that I wanted to see if I could duplicate it to use in other projects. So I'm just laying this down on a piece of cardboard. This is just a piece of cardboard that came like in the Dollar Tree calendars. And so I could actually cut two bunnies out of that shape, that size. So just so you know, I'm just removing his little twine bow and everything so I can trace him out. This way I have like a template that I can use, but then I can also have this adorable bunny shape if you can't get your hands on more signs or you're trying to cut costs. Now to cut him out after I trace him, I'm just using like a box cutter. You could use an X-Acto knife, whatever you'd like. Some scissors would even work depending on how thin your cardboard was. I'm just picking out a cute piece of scrapbook paper for my bunny. Now you're going to want to put a piece on the front and on the back. So depending on if you want to do the same or change it up, that's totally up to you. Just keep in mind you'll want to position your bunny in the right direction to be able to cut that out so you'll have it fit each side. Now when I cut this one out, I kind of bubble cut it a little bit, meaning that I leave just a little bit of an overhang on the bunny. So when I glue it down, I have plenty of room for my paper. Now I'm showing you here that I did paint. I was nervous if the cardboard would show through that paper. So I did paint my bunny white. I don't think this was 100% necessary. I'm just showing you that I did that, but you could skip that step. Now I'm just putting some of my glue stick down here on my bunny form here, and then I will just kind of lay that paper down over this. I work in sections so I don't have any of the glue dry on me. I'm a big fan of the Elmer's Purple School glue stick. I've never had any problem with projects lifting or having it not bond or adhere, so I love this glue. Now here's where I finish doing the bunny. I've kind of glued that top section down, and then I'll come and do the body portion, and I will get my brayer out and go over. That's what's going to get a really good bond between that paper and your cardboard form. Using an X-Acto knife, I just go around and cut any excess paper off. If this was just my normal chipboard form from Dollar Tree, I would just go ahead and sand with my fingernail file or like a finger sander to get the excess paper off. However, since it's cardboard, I did not want to compromise any of the edge of that cardboard. I'm just trying to cut costs and just kind of come up with a different way to do this. I think foam core board would work well for this project as well if you don't happen to have any cardboard, but either would work fine. So now I'm just doing the same thing on the other side of the bunny, same process to get the paper on that side. I very lightly sand the edges with the very fine part of my fingernail file just to tidy up any edges on that. Now this is me spritzing this. This is a little bit of like coffee grounds with some water in a little spray bottle to kind of give some little splotches, kind of aging this. I'm kind of indifferent to how it turns out, so it's something if you want to take the time to do that, just kind of showing you what it looks like, you can determine whether or not you like that. This is just me taking a little finger dauber and some antiquing ink and going over the edge just to kind of disguise any paper that might be showing. And then I also will stain with some antiquing wax, just a barbecue skewer. That's what we're going to use to stick our bunny in its pot. Now you can determine which pot you want to use. Maybe you've already got something really cute. This is just like a peat pot, and I have some plaster of Paris that I mixed up in the bottom of it that's dry, putting some joint compound or something, just some marbles, something to add some weight to the base of this. And then some styrofoam or pool noodles, whatever you have will work. I'm just gluing a little bit of Spanish moss over my blue pool noodles so you can't see them. It disguises them really, really well. Now I could leave this pot as is, but I love to kind of have things look aged or distressed. So you could add some decoupage napkins to this. You could just leave it plain. I'm just taking a little bit of white paint and dry brushing over this to brighten it up. Those peat pots have such beautiful texture on them, so I love to kind of showcase that. Now this is just a pack of a couple of bird nests that I picked up on my craft store. I'm just going to glue it on the top, and I felt like it was so dark with the dark brown that I wanted to add a little bit of reindeer moss in it to kind of brighten it up a little bit and add a little bit more of like bedding to tuck my little eggs into. Any eggs will work. These just happen to be off of like a tree that I bought, a topiary tree that I bought at a thrift store years ago that have a bunch of eggs. So I just, when I need some, pull a couple out, but any type of eggs will work fine. I put just a little bit of hot glue on that barbecue skewer that is I've placed on my bunny there, and I'm just going to stick that down in, and that's going to help it stay. Now I did tie a little bit of ribbon here together, just kind of tied a little knot with some different ribbons and put a little button on the middle of it. That's just going to add a little bit of embellishment on it. I thought it was really cute. You could even do something around the bunny's neck if you wanted to, or up maybe by the ear, put a cute little flower. But I think this turns out so cute. It's so beautiful for Easter, and I really did try to work with what I had, cut my costs down. I love the shape of this bunny, and I'm so excited to be able to still have my original piece from Dollar Tree to use as a template so I can have this shape for more, because I think it's just so cute. What do you guys think of this one? Today's video is part of a collaboration. It is a spring and Easter collaboration, which means there is a beautiful playlist that has so many fun Easter and spring DIY ideas for you. All you have to do is look in my comments or in my description box. I will have that link to the playlist there for you. So once you click on that, it's going to take you right over and play that. It is hosted by Liana DIY. Our guest hosts are Happiness Created, as well as Crafting in Mimi's World, and all of these other ladies are participating. And you guys, everybody here is so talented and has such fun and different styles of DIY, but they are all so beautiful and amazing. These ladies are all so talented, and I know you're going to love all of the spring and Easter inspiration they have for you. So again, check that playlist link that's in my description box and pinned in my comments. Go over, tell them all that Farm Charm Chic said hi, and if you are visiting from one of these different channels, welcome. I hope that you're enjoying what you're seeing here. Let's get right back into the DIYs. This is such a fun little thrift flip hack. Maybe you have some vintage items laying around. We're going to make a cute little spring vignette. Now I picked this little metal box up and this little green frog at Vintage Market Days. This little drawer has a wooden front. It's all metal. It has this darling little pole on it. And I've been looking for a little flower frog like this that is this green color, and I finally found one, and I'm so excited. Now, to put my pieces in here, when I do little vignettes like this, I like to use this little tacky stuff here. It's so nice because it's not permanent, but it's going to hold things in place. So if you happen to have it on a shelf or something like that, maybe a lot of traffic through the area, it's not going to like vibrate or bump anything. It's going to fall. It just gives things a nice cushion to kind of sit on and use. I have this little teacup here that I made. I'll post the video in my description box if you want to have a look at me doing this cute little teacup here. It's just a little cup that I put the little word dream on and a little nest, but that tacky stuff helps hold it in place so it's not going to like slip or fall. Now I have this little bunny image here that I've used. I printed several of these off over the years to use in different DIY projects. So I just went through all of my Easter stuff and grabbed things that I had. And so with this, I just tore the edges so it looked kind of a little more vintage, and I'm going to kind of wrinkle and crinkle this so it looks really old and aged. I even take my fingernail file and I give this a good sanding here, and so all of those crinkled areas that are raised up and everything will get a little bit of a vintage, more faded vibe to it. Totally optional, but it's just something to kind of help this look like it's been around for a minute or two. To age this one step further, I'm taking just a little bit of antiquing wax. This is just a little finger dauber here that I picked up. I actually found these finger daubers at Hobby Lobby. I've never seen them there before, but they were down the aisle where like the rubber stamps and the distressing ink is. And so if you're happening to look for some, I'm sure you probably find some on Amazon. I was just pretty excited that I was there and found them. I've really liked having them so far to use for items. They wash up really nice. So instead of like a baby wipe, you can keep using these. I'm not sure exactly how many times they'll last for, but more than a baby wipe, I will say that. So I'm just going around the edges, and then I also go over the front of the design. So this just kind of puts a little bit of antiquing wax anywhere that you tore or sanded. This paper is going to just like, that ink's going to saturate into those areas and make it look really vintagey, really like it's been around. You found it maybe cleaning out great grandma's shed and thought, oh, look at this cute little Easter thing. I don't know. I just think I love stuff looking like this. So it's just a matter of personal taste. I also do the back of it. I have people once in a while say like, oh, what do you do to the back of it? I do the same thing to the back of it. So it looks nice from every angle. Now I will just glue a craft stick to the back here because we're going to use this. I wanted a little bit of sturdiness on this. And so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue there. So that way I have a way to stand this up in my cute little drawer. Now these are all the pieces that I've decided to use in here. I did do this bundle of carrots out of some old spindles or bobbin thread holders that I had, so I can link the video to that if you would like. I literally just went and found a bunch of stuff that would maybe work. Some of it I use, some of it I end up not using. And it's just so fun to kind of place things together and make cute little vignettes and use what you have. And then maybe as you see things like this, when you're out doing your thrifting or you're going through something, or maybe you're visiting vintage market days, you can see pieces and think, oh, I remember that. I want to try that or something. So hopefully this just gets those creative juices flowing. Now I had that little, I'm not even sure what you call it, sort of like a handle of a door would go in, like the little door handle, the lock part. I picked that up for just a couple of dollars at my local antique store, and I've been hanging on to it, and it actually looks really cute in this little vignette, so I was quite pleased that I got to use that. A lot of this stuff is just vintage stuff that I've found or thrifted or made, so that kind of makes it a lot of fun. Now, not everything needed to have that tacky stuff on there, the tacky putty, but I did put some on the back of the craft stick of the bunny postcard, and then also I put some on the bottom of that teacup as I showed you earlier to help that kind of stay in place. I think I ended up putting some on that little bird as well on the edge, just to kind of help hold him in place so he doesn't go anywhere. Anywhere that I have any gaps or anything, I just kind of put in a little bit of Spanish moss to kind of fill in any gaps, as I said, and that way it just kind of makes it look like maybe this was something left out in your shop that some birds decided to come and make a cute little nest and make a little home out of, and so maybe you have a couple different family of birds have lived there at different times. The trick that you want to remember when doing a cute little vignette like this is you just want to look for different textures, different types of materials. So I have like the metal, I have the wood, I have the little Spanish moss or the coconut liner of the little egg nest there, the paper, some artificial plants. You just want to look for a lot of different things that go together. And I pulled a lot of things out and only a few of them made it in, and that's okay. And I may even change this as the season goes on, think of something else that be like, oh, this would be really cute in there too, or maybe I'll change this out for this. That's the fun with these little DIY projects, is they are so versatile. You can customize them however you want. It's just kind of a fun little hack to use some little knick-knacky things that you might have to make a beautiful vignette. What do you guys think of this one? This DIY is one of my favorite spring DIYs I've ever done. Now this is a piece of drop cloth. I bought this at Walmart. It was like $16 or something, and it comes with like a whole ton of it. You can get these on Amazon, at your local hardware store, anywhere. But I'm just doubling this up and tracing out the shape of a carrot. I really just freehanded this. It just kind of was what it was, so use your best, or you could print a template off if you felt like you needed one. Why on earth I am cutting this way with my scissors, I don't know. It's one of those things that I was watching the video back going, this is totally not how you cut with scissors, but I just needed to cut these shapes out. Obviously, there was something that I was multitasking and not paying attention. So I'm taking my carrots, and I'm also cutting a second batch of carrots out. So I doubled over that drop cloth again, traced my first carrot, and then just did that. So I'm gonna have 4 of these drop cloth carrot shapes. I'm going to fill these with some polyfill. We're going to glue them together. They turn out absolutely adorable. Oh my gosh, I love how these turn out. So I took my carrots forms and just placed them out. So that way I'm going to glue the 2 pieces together. So I just want to make sure that the outside portion is painted the carrot color. This is just a pumpkin color of chalk paint. You could do this as heavy of coat of paint that you wanted or light. I think either way is going to be really pretty depending on how primitive or distressed you want these. So I was just showing you there how they all looked once they dried. Since it is drop cloth you're working with, it does fray quite a bit. So I'm just going to take my fingernail file and sand down a little bit to kind of reduce the fraying on there as I work with it. Now this is just a stamp with some script on it. I don't know what it says. I don't even think that it's in English, to be totally honest with you. It's just a stamp I picked up at Hobby Lobby, but I've seen some script stamps at Dollar Tree. You might already have something. But this ink pad is also just like a $2 ink pad that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and it seems to work great for these projects. So I'm just going to kind of go all the way down each side of my carrot, stamping this script design on there. I kind of push the stamp down. This one I'm pushing the fabric into the stamp to kind of go back and get some spots that the stamp didn't transfer. You're going for a very rustic look with this, so it does not need to be perfect, and it's totally fine that some areas show up better than others. Some are darker than others. It just adds to the character of your carrots. Now the fun part of getting these glued together and starting to fill them. So you're just going to take a bead of hot glue all around the edges, and I work in sections so the glue doesn't dry super quick. So that way each section that you're pushing together is going to have the best bond possible. And then when I get to the top, I skip and leave an area at the top because obviously we're going to need an area to put our polyfill into this and fill these carrots. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other carrot as well, just taking that bead of glue right along the edge. Now I have polyfill I love to buy cheap pillows, or if you have pillows that maybe you don't use anymore, or if somebody's giving away some pillows, even if they're super ugly, I always say yes to them because I love to have the extra polyfill for projects like this. If you don't have any polyfill, or you don't want to have to worry about buying some because this is a smaller project, some grocery sacks, if you still have some of those plastic grocery sacks, would actually work really well as a way to use those. So you just want to make sure to use a dowel or something to scoot all of that polyfill or whatever you're using for your fill down into the point of your carrot. You just want these filled as tightly as possible, and make sure that you use something to get all of this fill everywhere down into that little point. That's what really makes these look high end. Now you'll notice on this one, as I'm pushing this in, the seam is going to pop here. Oh, there it goes. Very easy to fix there. What happened is either I didn't have enough glue right there, I filled it too full, which probably wasn't necessarily what that was. It was probably that the glue had dried a little bit before I pushed it down and it didn't get a great bond. So super easy to fix. You're just going to pull back some of that fill, put your glue on there, and then you're just going to use some clamps to clamp these together. So if you happen to notice that you're getting a seam that pops like that, you can still work. You see that I put these clamps on and I just go right back to filling these little carrots up, and it works great. Any kind of greenery is going to work. I'm choosing to use a boxwood greenery. These actually are from the wedding section at Hobby Lobby, but the Walmart boxwood would work great. I just happen to be out of that and I had some of this, but it looks like there's about 4 little pieces of boxwood on each of these stems that's coming out. So it's not over. I mean, you could put a lot of greenery coming out of these carrots and I think it would look absolutely beautiful. So this is just a little bit, just enough to bring that pop of green in. So I just stick these down in. I didn't even glue them, but you may want to, especially if you plan on selling them, may want to just put a little bit of glue in there to hold those. But I tied them tight enough with my twine. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but just in case, you decide you want to put a little bit of glue to hold those in place in there, I would, definitely think about if that's something you want to do. So I'm just using some twine to tie off the top of these carrots, and I just think these look so cute. I double up my twine and tie a little bow, kind of just adds another little rustic primitive element to it there. You'd even stick a little button in the middle if you wanted to go as far as that. Now once I get to this point, there is a little bit of excess trim on my carrot, like the edge of my carrots. So I'm just going with my pinking shears here, and I'm just going around trimming it back if I feel like there's too much of an edge. And I just think it looks so cute. And it also lets a little bit of that natural drop cloth show through, which I think just adds to that rustic element. I leave the tails of my bows kind of long. It just feels kind of like a little bit of almost like a root type of feel, like you're pulling the carrots out of the ground, and you have the hanging root. I don't know. I just loved the long tails of the twine on there. So it's just a matter of personal preference. But the same thing on this carrot. I just kind of clean up the edge. If I feel like it could be cut a little bit closer or a little bit better, a little bit more definition, I just take the time to do that. Oh my gosh, these carrots are so beautiful. I love how these turned out. I think these are the perfect little bowl filler or a shelf sitter. If you had a bunch of them sitting somewhere, I think they would be a cute gift to give to people. If you have a craft show coming up, these are such easy. I mean, these did not take long to make at all, and they're such a beautiful item. I really am pleased with how these came out, and I just think they're so fun. I love using that pop of orange and carrots in my spring decor, especially with some cute little Easter bunnies. What do you guys think of these? Are you going to try them? I hope that you do, because they are so easy and they turned out so cute. I am having so much fun this year doing spring and Easter DIYs. I hope that you're loving them coming, because I have so many fun ideas. These are some of my favorites that I have done so far. I just absolutely love these carrots. I think they're so stinking cute. I may have to make some more to have just to tuck into my decor around, because they were so fun and really not that hard to make. But I also love my cute little drawer with the vignette there, and then that darling little bunny. I just think he's so cute. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and remember that today's video is part of a collaboration, so check out that playlist link that's in my description box as well as pinned in my comments. Head over and see all of the other fun spring and Easter DIYs that the other creators have for you. I know you're going to love everything that's there and have so much fun. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Happy crafting! If you like the video that you just saw and you want to keep crafting together, here's another video that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.